The moon hung high in the sky, casting an ethereal glow over the still surface of Whispering Lake. I had always been drawn to the water, its calm and quiet nature offering a refuge from the chaos of daily life. Tonight, the lake was particularly inviting, its smooth, dark surface reflecting the stars like a mirror. I slipped off my clothes, leaving them in a neat pile on the shore, and waded into the cool water. The sensation of the lake embracing me was soothing, and I let out a contented sigh. The water was clear, and I could see the pebbles beneath my feet as I walked further in. The lake was surrounded by dense forest, and at night, it felt like a world apart from the one I knew. I had been coming here since I was a child, but I had never swum at night before. There was something thrilling about the darkness, the mystery of what lay beneath the surface. As I swam out to the center of the lake, the sounds of the forest grew distant. The gentle ripples I created were the only disturbance in the otherwise perfect stillness. Floating on my back, I gazed up at the sky, feeling a profound sense of peace. Suddenly, a strange sensation washed over me, breaking the tranquility. It was as if the water had grown colder in an instant, and an inexplicable sense of dread began to creep into my mind. I tried to shake it off, telling myself it was just my imagination running wild in the darkness. But then I felt it, a gentle tug on my leg, as if something had brushed against me. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. The water around me seemed to grow thicker, more oppressive. I scanned the surface, but there was nothing to see, just the inky blackness of the lake. Another tug, this time more insistent. Panic surged through me, and I kicked out, trying to dislodge whatever it was. My foot connected with something solid and cold, sending a shiver down my spine. I started to swim back to shore, my strokes frantic and uncoordinated. As I swam, the water seemed to resist me, pulling me back with every stroke. My breathing grew ragged, and I could feel the weight of the lake pressing down on me. The shore, once so close, now seemed impossibly far away. I felt another touch, this time on my arm. It was soft, almost curious, but it filled me with a primal terror. I thrashed in the water, trying to get away, but the more I struggled, the more entangled I seemed to become. A low, guttural sound echoed through the water, sending waves of fear through me. It was unlike anything I had ever heard, a mix of a growl and a moan. I glanced back and caught a glimpse of something moving beneath the surface. It was large, its shape indistinct in the darkness, but I could see eyes, glowing, unblinking eyes watching me with a malevolent intelligence. I pushed myself harder, every muscle in my body screaming in protest. The creature followed, its movements smooth and effortless. I could feel its presence just beneath me, a shadow in the water, waiting for the moment to strike. With a final desperate surge of energy, I reached the shallows. I could feel the pebbles beneath my feet again, and I scrambled out of the water, falling onto the shore in a heap. My chest heaved with exertion, and my limbs felt like lead. I glanced back at the lake, expecting to see the creature emerging from the water, but the surface was calm once more. The stars reflected perfectly as if nothing had happened. I sat there, shivering and breathless, trying to make sense of what I had just experienced. The forest around me was silent, as if holding its breath. I dressed quickly, my hands trembling, and took one last look at the lake. It seemed so peaceful, so serene, but I knew better now. There was something in the water, something ancient and malevolent. I made my way back through the forest, every rustle of leaves and snap of twigs making me jump. The sense of dread followed me, a constant companion. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, that the creature from the lake was lurking in the shadows, waiting for another chance to pull me under. When I finally reached my car, I collapsed into the driver's seat, my body still trembling with fear. I drove home in a daze, the events of the night replaying in my mind. I couldn't forget those eyes, the way they seemed to pierce through the darkness and into my soul. I never went back to Whispering Lake after that night. The memory of the creature haunted my dreams, and even in the daylight, I could feel its presence, lurking just beneath the surface of my thoughts. The lake, once a place of solace, had become a symbol of my deepest fears. I told myself it was just a nightmare, a trick of the mind, but deep down, I knew the truth. There was something in the water, something that had been waiting for me, and it was still out there, in the depths of Whispering Lake, waiting for its next victim.